Good morning. This is Unity of Carlsbad. Welcome back and welcome if you are new. My name is Robyn Plante, the senior minister here, and I'm so glad that you've joined us today for prayer, meditation, spiritual lesson, and some wonderful songs by Reverend Blair Tabor. He has some original gems for us today, so we are blessed. And I also want to thank you for supporting Unity of Carlsbad with your prayers, your energy, your good thoughts, and your financial gifts that help support this ministry. And if you'd like to give, there's a donate button on our website and also our P.O. box if you'd like to mail in a gift. So we are appreciative of your support. So let us begin with prayer this morning. As we close our eyes and settle in to the living, loving presence we call God by many names that is right here, right now, active and alive within us, all around us, and beyond. And so we say, thank you, God, for this beautiful day and this opportunity to know you more, to open our minds, our hearts, and our lives to the greater inflow of your love and wisdom and guidance and joy this day. So we feel that presence of God active and alive and moving right now to bless, to heal, to prosper, to uplift, unite, and return all to love, all to one. And we are one spiritual family in the heart of God, living in the heart of God. We also send out a special blessing to all who have been affected by the wildfires, and we see them supported, protected, and guided and receiving everything that they need, knowing that God is present in the circulating stream of inherent good in humanity right now. So we give thanks for this flow, we give thanks for the healing, and we give thanks for the opportunity to be the blessing. Amen. And now Reverend Blair will provide us with some wonderful song.
Thank you, Reverend Robyn. Well, Reverend Robyn sent me just a little synopsis of what her song title was going to be about, or what her talk was going to be about. And so I started a couple nights ago and finished up just this afternoon, early this afternoon. Let go. When I look in my closet, you'll see lots of stuff. Tour my garage, ask me how much is enough. I keep saying I'm saving these things just in case. Now look, there is stuff all over my place. And thank God I don't have a basement. And the drawers are all full, and there's stacks in the back. My dresser has piles, my desk soon will crack. I'm drowning in things saved for some rainy day. It's time to move some of it out of the way. Let go, it's time to release. Trusting that God will fill all our needs. I let go and make room for God's infinite good, knowing God is the source of my livelihood. It is time to release the things once so dear. It's time to confront my underlying fear, that feeling that somehow my good will run out. It's time for faith, time to release all my doubt. Stop and breathe the air right now. Know that it will never run out. Start to think ever expanding thoughts that God's abundance flows all about. Let go, it's time to release. Trusting that God will fill all our needs. I let go and make room for God's infinite good, knowing God is the source of my livelihood. I let go and make room for God's infinite good, knowing God is the source of my livelihood.
Thank you, Blair.
Oh, that was
That's
fun.
perfect. Wow, hot off the press, too. Thank you. Making room for the new. Are you? That vision in the song about the overstuffed garage. Yeah, what a good time to release those things that we maybe once loved but don't use anymore. We put them back into circulation and knowing that it's blessing others. And someone is probably praying for that certain thing that you don't use anymore. So a wonderful visual today. So thrift stores are bulging with donations, with clothing, with home items. And when I drove by the Goodwill by my place, there was a line around the building to get in. So the circulating stream of good, it's we know it spiritually, and it's fun when we see it in action. You know, people giving, people willing to receive, and to keep that good flowing. So today we're talking about the law of circulation. We know that when we give, we receive. And what we put out, we get back. Sometimes right away, sometimes in its own time, sometimes in the same way, and sometimes in different and new and surprising ways. But the good we give out, the good we get back. So we're also talking about clearing the cobwebs, the crumbs, and the clutter, not only from our physical space, but also in the real living room of our lives, our minds. So clearing our physical space and our mental space, and making more room in mind and heart for the living God to expand, relax, put her feet up, and as for God to make God's self at home in a larger way in our lives, in our minds, in our hearts, in our giving. So God is always trying to live larger within us and through us and as us. So what does that feel like to let God live larger in you and through you? We'll look at that today. I like this from 2 Corinthians 5:17. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. So making room in our physical space and in our inner life for that newness of God to show up. And the practice of release and renunciation is a powerful spiritual tool to help us make room for more good, for more God. And so let's talk about the easier thing first, which is what Blair's saying about decluttering our physical space. Now, I know some of you have told me you've already been doing this, and it's been very satisfying. Um, So, looking at your physical space, what is taking up space that you no longer use? Because physical objects are energy and form. And so, to look at what we surround ourselves with, these objects, do they add to a sense of energy and aliveness, or do we just kind of walk around them and they're taking up space? And we know that space is one of our four inner resources we have, or resources in our lives. We have time, money, energy, and physical space. It's also a resource. Now, when I was working on this lesson, my kitchen table was so full of papers, I couldn't even think. I had to clean it off, clear it off, so I could focus. And so we know that when we take some movement in the outer, it helps the inner, and vice versa too. When we clear our minds, it's easier to restore order to our space. So these work in tandem. So I was looking at around my desk right here and what I have, and I'll show you some things that are life-giving and energizing for me when I'm here with you on Sundays, things that you can't see, but I can see. So first of all, we have this little card of our friend Jesus here. And then I have a bumper sticker that I really like that I never put on my car. May peace prevail on the earth. And I have a Bible over here, a well-loved family Bible. And one of my favorite quotes from John, I will read it to you. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world gives, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. John 14:27. So all of these things add to the energy of aliveness. And we can't forget, this is one of my little other ones too, that Mr. Gumby, that reminds me to be playful and flexible. So we can look around and see, what objects are here. Are they helping us uplift, or are we just kind of, navigating around them? So my invitation to you this week is to pick one area of your home, and even you could start really small. It could be one drawer, or a backpack or a purse. You'd be surprised what's in a woman's purse, what accumulates in there. A closet, or a car. Car is good. Or if you're feeling really energetic, maybe the garage. And, this can feel like an overwhelming activity, but to set the timer maybe for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's it. To let go, to put items back in circulation, to sell, to donate, to give away, or to repurpose, and then organize what we have. So some order there. And ask God to help you. Ask God to help you. So this may sound easy, but sometimes we can get attached to our stuff, especially if it has a sentimental value, right? For me, it's been books, and more books. And what you can't see to my right is a big shelf of books. In front of me is another shelf of books. To my left is a big shelf of books. And there would be books. You can see the wall here, but there's books everywhere. Books. And I know it's time to let it go again. And there's a line in your song, Blair, about what is the real reason? What is the fear? And I was thinking that books give me a sense of security and comfort. And when we realize these things, coming back to what is your true source of security? What is your true source of comfort? It's God. God is never ending. God never runs out. God is a book that pages just keep going. So that's on my list. Take one shelf to do and release some of those. Sometimes we cling to things just out of habit, or we think we might need it in the future. Often we don't. But if we do, it'll show up again. That happened when I was in ministerial school. I moved to Missouri, shipped what I could, and gave away the rest furniture, books, all kinds of stuff. And I gave away some books. I thought, oh, I might need those again, but no, I have to lighten my load. And do you know that there was a free giveaway table at Unity Village with that very same book when I needed it and I could pick it up again? So, clinging to things we no longer use or need is kind of sometimes a fear of lack, right? We forget God as our source, and it can block the flow of spiritual energy, of life energy, of the energy of creation, that energy that can be used to create something new and good. And we may find when we cling to things that there's stagnation in other areas of our lives. So if you're feeling stuck or broke or blocked, the best thing you can do is give. Give of yourself, your time, your talent, your treasure, your energy, your prayers, your items, your goods, putting them back into circulation. And people have asked me, why do you give first? Aren't you supposed to receive and then give something? But if you think about it, we give first because we've already received. We've already received. Think of all the good things that you have already received in your life. So when we give, we create a vacuum, and the universe always steps in to fill it. So that's why it's good when we do this clearing to be very intentional about what we want in that space, in that physical space. So this law of circulation, the spiritual law of circulation is happening now. It's the governs the flow of abundance through our lives, and we have access to it. You have access to it right now. And if you're feeling out of the flow, the best way to experience that circulating stream of good is to give, knowing that God is your source. So God, that infinite love, created us and knows us as beautiful and whole and connected to parts of itself. Even though we may feel separate sometimes, we are all one, all part of God. Like fingers on the hand, that are separate, but all part of the hand. But when we see ourselves as separate, that's when we knock ourselves out of the flow and can feel stuck, out of alignment with the wholeness that is God, with the wholeness that we truly are, that is the truth of our spiritual nature. But the good news is we can always get back to that. Sometimes I think we acquire material items to, get that, like, shopping sometimes feels good, it's like, ooh, a little something new, something creation here, something for my life, that little emotional, joy hit. But even Amazon Prime can't fill that God-sized hole, that going back to knowing who and what you are as a beloved creation, of a loving creator that is always here and never runs out. So clearing our physical space helps us to restore order to our mental space and vice versa, and order to our lives. And we know that an action in one area of our life just ripples out to other areas. So, becoming a new creation in Christ is not a passive experience. There's outer work to do and inner work to do so we can be a blessing in the outer world. So, let's look at some inner housekeeping: the cobwebs, the crumbs, and the clutter. Now, it may be time to mentally declutter if you notice the following. Does your mind feel stuffed with useless information that just leaves you tired when you think about it? When you put your head on the pillow at night, can you hear your own thoughts? Or does do others' opinions just reverberate in your head? Are you able to focus on a goal you set for yourself? Even a little tiny goal, which is doing a lot right now in these times when there are so many demands for our attention, delays, distractions, even disappointments. Sticking to a one teeny little goal, maybe it's to go to the store or to mend something or just go to the post office, one little thing. Are we able to do that, or do you find yourself getting easily detoured? And notice also that that which gets your attention, your energy, one of your resources, is it life-giving? Is it helping you to become a better person, to learn more, to be a better person, bringing you closer to God, or something else? I suspect you already know how to clear your mind with prayer, with meditation, different kinds of meditation, walking meditations, sitting meditations, singing meditation, movement, body prayers, spiritual reading, listening to, I'll say, the nectar of spiritual food that's uplifting, getting out in nature, having an adventure, getting out of your routine for a week or even a day for a reset. And there's probably other ways too. We can also use our Unity tools of denial and affirmation. So in Unity, the practice of the denial is to say no to that which is not spiritually true. And the statement of denial dissolves, erases, and releases. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said denial is like sweeping the cobwebs from your mind of old error thoughts of who and what you are not. The practice of affirmation is the ability to say yes to that which is spiritually true. Those I am statements. Affirmations claim, build, and plant. What a great way to declutter the mind, right? So the cobwebs and the crumbs are those areas in our mental house that need cleaning up. Maybe areas we've neglected or things we've swept under the rug. They can look like, but are not limited to, family discord, old wounds, unresolved wounds, unhelpful behavior patterns that block our ability to experience that abundance of greater love, of happiness. And all it takes to start this, just like cleaning out a small drawer in your house physically, is to have this much willingness to take a step for a clearing, for one of those clearings. A number of years ago, I knew a man who told me a story about he and his father. And he and his father had had a falling out about 10 years before. And there was this rift, and then neither one of them had, they weren't speaking. And no, neither one of them would call the other one. And until the father had a stroke. And And my friend, he said his siblings said, you better go see dad because we don't know, what's going to happen and how much longer he'll be around. So the son, you know, thought, okay, I'll go see him. And as he was driving over there, he noticed like these old feelings coming up of anger, of hurt, of pain around, Christmases, no contact, birthdays, no contact. The father he wanted was the father that he didn't get. He thought he would just go, peek in the room, say hello, and leave. So when he got to the nursing facility, he walked in the door, stood at the threshold of the doorway, and he was surprised at his father, what he saw. In his mind, his father was this loud, um, critical, fire breathing dragon of a man. But here, propped up against the pillows in his bed, was a small, silent man with years. He said he saw the years between them on his face. And so something moved in his heart, in the son's heart. Something moved in his heart, and tears stung his eyes. And he stood there, just looking at his father. And then he was going to leave. He turned to leave when the caregiver burst through the room carrying a tray. He had met the caregiver when he came into the facility. But the caregiver bustled in with a tray and he said, I can't stay. I usually do this, but I can't stay. I have to go take care of something. Can you do it? And he hands the son a tray of that has a bowl of water, a razor, and a can of shaving cream, a little can of shaving cream. And so the son looked at it, and he said part of him wanted to bolt out the door, but something kept him there, and something moved in his heart. And he went and pulled up a chair next to his father and began to get the lather out and lather his father's face. And he noticed the stubble, and he remembered how his father always liked a clean shave. And so he was kind of trembling when he was, he was working the razor very slowly and carefully on his father's face and cleaning, in the bowl of water, cleaning the razor. And at one point, he said he flashed back to the very first time when he was a teenager and his father taught him how to shave. And with infinite care, he finished and gently patted his father's cheeks dry. And no words were spoken in that hour, but something moved and something deep was healed. Often we stand at the threshold of a doorway of a choice to make room for the new, to make room for a new experience of God, or to do what we've always done, to hold on to that hurt, or to take a breath and to see what God can do, what that living, larger God in us can do. That little step forward, and God moves in big ways, can move in big ways, and can move in big ways in your life. So we don't always get to choose what happens to us, but we do get to choose how we will respond and what we do next from the threshold of a choice. So making room for the new this week. I'll leave us with some advice from Apostle Paul to the Ephesians chapter 4, 31 verse. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice, and be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another. So this week, let God help you to make room for the new. And now Reverend Blair will lead us in a song to prepare for meditation.
So this is a song called Say Goodbye. It's about letting go of parts of our old self and letting God do something new in us. Say goodbye to yesterday. You don't need to feel that way. Everything's gonna be okay today. Say goodbye to hating stuff. You don't need to be so tough. Love is just enough to see you through. Say goodbye to all those dreams, as good as they all seem. It's time to dream bigger dreams today. You are something new and full. You are something beautiful. You are letting go the old and putting on the new. Say goodbye to who you were. Something new is about to stir, and I think you'll prefer the new you see. You are something new and full. You are something beautiful. You are letting go the old and putting on the new. Say goodbye to yesterday. You don't need to feel that way. Everything's gonna be okay today. Everything's gonna be okay today.
Thank you, Blair. And let's just take that energy into our time of meditation now. I invite you to close your eyes if you can and take some nice deep breaths. As we just let go of anything we don't need right now. Knowing that with God, everything is going to be okay. Everything is okay. So we set aside any concerns of what came before or what will come after this time. And allow each breath to bring more peace, more rest, and more relaxation. Let us enjoy this prayer from John O'Donohue, the prayer for equilibrium. Like the joy of the sea coming home to the shore, may the relief of laughter rinse through your soul. As the wind loves to call things to dance, may your gravity be lightened by grace. like the dignity of moonlight restoring the earth. May your thoughts incline with reverence and respect. As water takes whatever shape it is in, so free may you be about who you become. As time remains free of all that it frames, may your mind stay clear of all that it names. May your prayer of listening deepen enough to hear the depths and the laughter of God. So let us be with this now for a few moments in the silence. Now, as we return our awareness to this room, let us give thanks for the presence of love, the dance of opportunity, and always the fullness of the love of God. And so it is. Amen. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again. Have a blessed week. And please join us in singing our closing song. Reverend Blair will lead us in our closing song.
So this is the one we're familiar with, the prayer for protection. And we'll start with the light of God surrounds me. The second verse, light of God surrounds you. And then for everyone, light of God surrounds us. The light of God surrounds us, me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me wherever I am. God is. Now sing it for someone else. Choose someone to sing it to. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you wherever you are. God is. Now we sing for everybody on the planet. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. Wherever we are. Wherever we are. God is. Sing it again. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever we are. God is, God is, God is, God is, God is, God is, God